It's Transformers96 here with another video. I'm going to be ranking a Marvel Legends wave. This time it is the Space Knight Venom Build-A-Figure wave. This wave comprised of 6 figures, and I'm going to be ranking them from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. Of course, not including the Build-A-Figure. It's a little hard to rank a Build-A-Figure in its own wave, so this will just be of the regular figures. And yeah, so these are my personal opinions, and I do want to say that I apologize that it took this long for me to do this ranking video, but I had decided early on not to get Miles Morales and Spider-Man because I have so many Spider-Man figures, and instead just buy their Build-A-Figure pieces, which I did do, but then I ended up getting both of these at a really good price, and I ended up enjoying the figures quite a bit, and therefore it took me a while to get this video out. So do apologize how long it's taken, but I finally had the full wave, so now it's time to rank them. So let me know what you guys think of my choices, and tell me your guys' choices down below. I'd love to hear them. In last place we have SpiderGirl. This figure just really never connected with me. I mean, it's a repaint of a normal body sculpt. Of course, it's a nice repaint, don't get me wrong. The head sculpt's nice, but there's not much expression going on, especially without any pupils. And I just didn't have too much fun with this figure. I think that in the comics, in the Old Man Logan story arc, if I'm not mistaken, she uses like a crowbar as her weapon. So she comes with a hand that's like able to hold something, but she doesn't come with any accessories, which I just think is lazy considering everybody else in this wave comes with a secondary head, and she doesn't even come with like a crowbar accessory. Kind of disappointing. Didn't really do much with this figure. As soon as I got it, I just kind of set it aside. In 5th place, there's Electro. This was my most anticipated figure of the wave because of his character. I love Spider-Man villains, especially classic ones, you know, and Electro is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, so I was very excited to get a figure. The figure itself is executed really nicely. You get 2 head sculpts, you get the electric blasts. I wish that he came with a pair of hands that that weren't shooting electricity. I had to give these hands to him from Speed Demon. And I'm also really disappointed that they didn't go with his classic Electro look. They gave us the head for the classic look, but the body is not the classic look. So it's just like they gave you a different version of Electro, but threw in the classic head so that it would sell better, basically, which is really disappointing. I would have much rather had a classic Electro. This one still works as a classic one, but it's of course not correct, so that very much disappoints me. Next up, it's Silk. Silk, I think, is going to be a lot of people's favorite figure from this wave, but for me personally, she wasn't. She's a good figure, don't get me wrong. It is just a repainted body, of course. However, the head sculpt is really great. Love the way it's painted. Love the way that the hair is sculpted and painted. It looks fantastic, and I am also very much, appreciating the fact that she comes with a second head sculpt. I think that that's great, and her left hand is a style hand that I really like. I think that hand works really nicely for poses. But personally, I'm not like a huge fan of the character or anything. I don't have anything against her, but I'm just not personally a fan, and therefore I didn't do too much with this figure. So I do recognize that the figure itself is really quite good, but personally I didn't have a ton of fun with it because I'm not too into the character. 3rd place goes to Spider-Man. This is a really good classic Spider-Man figure. I'm a big fan of the new body sculpt, and as you can see, I haven't shown Miles Morales yet, so I did actually prefer that figure, even though they're almost the same figures. However, the Spider-Man is quite nice. It's painted really well. I love the shade of blue that they've chosen to go with, and I love the big eyes. This is a really good classic Spider-Man in a teenage body sculpt, which is very cool. 2nd place goes to Hobgoblin. This was a figure that I was really looking forward to in this wave, and it really didn't disappoint. It's quite a good figure. I love the new sculpting on it. Almost the entire thing, if not the entire thing, is a completely new sculpt, which is great. A big fan of both head sculpts. I think that they both look great, and you also you get a lot of with this figure. You get a pumpkin bomb, a second head sculpt, and a full glider, which is very impressive. So I think that you get your money's worth with this guy. I think he's a cool character, and I think the figure is executed quite nicely. The only issues I have with it are like the lack of depth with the paint in the chest area, for sure. However, other than that, it's pretty great. I will say that I do have Green Goblin from the Sandman wave, and I do prefer that one. However, this is still a really good figure, and definitely deserving the 2nd spot on this list. And my favorite figure of this wave is Miles Morales. Now this is shocking to me, considering before I had any of these figures, if you asked me which figure I was least looking forward to, it would have been Miles Morales. I wasn't excited for him just because I have a million Spider-Mans, you know. At least with the other Spider-Man, it's a classic Peter Parker Spider-Man, which I prefer. So I was really not interested in a Miles Morales Spider-Man, which is why I didn't pick up either Spider-Man for the longest time and just bought their Build-A-Figure pieces. But when I finally got Miles, I was super impressed with this new sculpt, very happy with it. I was surprised how much of a difference the swivel at the calf area made when posing, and I was able to get crazy poses with him, and I was very happy with his accessories that he came with. Now you might be wondering, why would I rank Spider-Man number 3, then Hobgoblin, and then Miles Morales, considering Miles Morales and Spider-Man are essentially the same figure? But I did that because for some reason, I don't know what it is, but I'm able to get better poses out of the Miles Morales figure. I don't know if it's just the joints have a little bit more range on him, or if the who knows, you know, just the way that the joint was cut on my specific copy gives him slightly more range than the regular Spider-Man. I don't know what it is, but I can't execute this Spider-Man pose as well with the Spider-Man figure as I do with this Miles Morales, which is very odd. I don't know the reason. However, just, and also for the fact that I got Miles Morales first, so I enjoyed the figure a lot more because I was putting him in all the poses. If I had got Miles Morales and Spider-Man at the same time, I would have probably been trying to execute those poses with the Spider-Man figure and not the Miles Morales. But because I had Miles Morales first, I was forced to use him to do the poses because I didn't have an alternative at the time. So I really enjoyed this figure a lot, and it was a complete surprise to me. Very impressed with this new sculpt, and really do like the accessories that he came with. So as a whole, this wave is okay. It's certainly not one of my favorite waves. I think that every figure in this wave is pretty decent. However, with the Build-A-Figure not being super impressive, that just kind of makes the whole wave a little lackluster in general. I think that these are nice figures. There's certainly not a figure here that I hate. However, there's certainly not a figure here that I just absolutely love, and that could be forgivable if it was all leading up to an amazing Build-A-Figure, but it's not. It's leading up to a pretty poor Build-A-Figure in my opinion. I mean, it's a fine figure, but it's just nothing special. So there you go. This wave is decent. It seems to be incredibly hard to find. This is like the only wave that I've barely ever seen on retail. I think that Spider-Man and Miles Morales are the only figures I've ever seen on retail from this wave, which is crazy. So who knows how rare this wave is, but personally, nothing too special here. You know, lots of decent things and lots of good things, but just nothing that's amazing. So there you go. That's my ranking and just my personal thoughts and opinions on this wave in general and how much I enjoyed each figure.